Okay, today we have a sillier 40k Tactics video about the worst, best broken rules inverting mirror match that we were discussing the other day. Um, we're gonna reveal what it is. I picked a big Zinchi background with the Moon Man and all this madness, but it's chaos related.
When we were talking about this, we were talking about basically it's not like what breaks the game or what makes it unfun necessarily or anything like that. It's just what makes it the weirdest, which is part of the Zinchi thing going on. I'm pretty sure it's World Eaters versus World Eaters. And here's why. World Eaters doesn't have a ton of shooting. And the most common thing played in basically every World Eaters list, other than Angron, is like Berserkers or something with a Master of Execution. When you have a Master of Execution and you have fights first all the time, forever, well, now you don't want to charge that unit. Like, it makes the most tactical sense to get charged so that you actually get to fight first. We just did a video previously about the fight phase and how that works as far as alternating activations and fighting first versus not fighting first. If both units have fights first, no matter who charges, after the charge, the defending player or the non-active player would get to fight first. And if it's Berserkers versus Berserkers, whoever fights first probably wins that fight. Whoever fights first removes the other Master of Executions, which basically means you're going to win that fight. Maybe not this turn, though probably this turn. Definitely next turn, because they don't have the character, and the character is like one of the best parts of the unit.
Right. So it's the inversion of you're both playing melee armies that want to fight, but if you charge to do the fight thing, you lose. Correct.
And the only way to allow you to charge, which other armies will absolutely, tech into their list some precision, well, all of the World Eaters' precision is in melee, which now means that like the only way to remove the character to make the unit chargeable is to charge or get charged. So if you did a World Eaters matchup, obviously your other units like Angron and 8-Bound and stuff like that, they're going to go and still play the game. But if you end up sending your Berserkers at, let's say, the midfield objective, and so does your opponent, you get into this weird, like, we're both going to try to get as many models onto the objective as possible, and we're just going to kind of stand there and stare at each other waiting for the opponent to charge. Because if I charge, I lose all my models. If you charge, you lose all your models. And there's nothing else we can do with it. We have to bring in, like, a unit of 8-Bound, and then charge with the 8-Bound and the Berserkers in order to get, overwhelm the fact that charging is bad. Or I have to bring Angron over to help deal with this. And if that Master of Execution happens to have the enhancement, well, Angron doesn't even want to charge them then, because I don't know if he's going to make it.
Yeah.
So it gets to be a wild matchup in that it specifically convinces players who have a design for their list and a game plan to actively want to not do that game plan.
It's so goofy.
Yeah.
Even with Angron, it's still...
Yeah. At least with like Angron on Angron, not that you're going to do that, but let's say you are, at least there, whoever charges, like, is probably going to win. So now you get into this defensive thing of, I don't want to send Angron out, because if I can't make the charge this turn, I'm going to lose him. But if I can make the charge, then, I get their Angron and I totally get there. Like, I win, right?
Yeah, but they're both so fucking fast that, like...
Right? So, like, now you have to really decide, like, did I roll the advance to charge this turn? Am I going to spend CP on this? Even with the move shenanigans, like, what's my charge going to be? Is, like, am I going to flub a 6-inch charge, or is it, like, a 9-inch charge? And I don't know if I can make that. Like, this whole matchup becomes very... I don't know if I want to do my job. Whereas, if we look at others, even some others maybe, let's say, are less fun or less interesting or whatever else, But even with that being true, at least those other matchups are still going to want to do their game plan. Like Tau are still going to want to shoot. They're not going to be afraid to shoot. They're, it's about finding the right matchups, but like it matters. Orcs are still going to want to charge because, if I can get in there, I could fight on death, or I could, be charging first gets me to win that fight, or whatever else. Like everyone is still doing their game plan. World Eaters is the only one I can think of where in a mirror match they actively don't want to do their job anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly. Anyway, it's food for thought. I don't know. Have fun with it. All right.